You need to stay the path even when things get hard. Or translating into simple English, you need to stay consistent with whatever routine you have going on, even in the face of difficulty when it presents itself to you. I want to talk about this topic in particular because I feel like I can accredit the greatest amount of progress that I've made in 2024 to this one particular factor, which is even when things got hard for me, even when I had an excuse to go resort to my comfort, throw myself off the path to accomplishing whatever I want to accomplish, through emotional intelligence and through a lot of discipline and through a lot of having conversations with myself and pushing through it, I have been able to stay consistent on the things that I want to accomplish. And thank God it's put me in the position that I'm in today, which is someone that has trimmed down 40 pounds in the past year alone, making multiple 5 figures with my business, a better Muslim, a better person to the people around me. And so let's get into this topic. When you are trying to accomplish something, what most people do is to, get as close as possible to success is you build a routine. You build a routine, you stay consistent with it, let's say for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, few weeks, few months, everything is going great and you feel like you're really onto it this time and you're going to get to where you want to get to. And then something comes up, it's a complete disaster. It was the most unexpected turn that you didn't anticipate whatsoever. And it's now giving you all the reason in the world to just flip the table, give up on whatever you were trying to do, and go seek comfort to cope with the situation. It's especially in situations like this that you cannot get off of your path and you have to push through it and you have to keep doing whatever you were originally going to do anyways. The reason for that is because we get better at whatever we consistently do. That is kind of the theme of this entire video. It's about consistency, but it's consistency even in the face of difficulty. So as I mentioned, we only get better at the things that we consistently do over time. You falling into a period of seeking discomfort in the face of difficulty is you just practicing to be better at that. That every time something difficult comes up for you, you run away from it, you don't face it, and you just go seek comfort, and you fold on the entire routine or on all the progress that you've made. Whereas now, look at the opposite of it, in which something comes up for you, and you continue, and you push through with it, and you get past it, despite it becoming difficult. What this is now training you to do is being resilient in the face of difficulty coming up, and it's saving you time and getting you to where you want to go faster. To add on to that, it's pushing you further and further away from the bad habits that you want to get rid of anyways. For most people, when difficulty comes up, what they end up doing is resorting to the bad habits that they have to give them comfort. For some people, that's social media. Some people, that's overeating. So other people, it's participating in other habits that, I don't want to mention on video right now. But the idea is you falling back into those habits, or you resorting to these habits when things or any difficulty comes up, is you just giving in and submitting to bad habits that you, between yourself, have told yourself, I don't even want to do anyways. And so it's quite hypocritical if you think about it, because you've made a pact and you've made a promise to yourself, and you're upset with the fact that this is something that you don't want to do, but you keep putting yourself in a position in which you keep falling back into it despite saying you don't want to do it. So what you really want to do in moments like this is slow things down, become conscious of the situation, and try to adapt. So what that looks like is the following. I'll do my best to come up with an example off the top of my head because, as you can see from the channel name, all the videos that I make are unscripted. Let's use a small example. Let's say you came home from the gym and post-gym you're trying to have a good healthy meal, some protein to actually help you properly recover from the hard work that you just put in. You expected to have a healthy meal, maybe you had some meal prep or something, but for whatever reason you come home and it's not there. Either the ingredients that you were going to prepare ran out, or somebody ate your meal, or you ran out of meal prep. What do you do then? Do you resort to, let's say, eating your sister's McDonald's that you see at the table just because that's what's available right there? And you know that you promised yourself you were going to eat a healthy meal and that you're trying to stay away from junk food. So that's resorting to that comfort in the case of a difficulty like this. Or will you go out of your way to go to the supermarket, let's say, buy the ingredients, spend the time to cook the healthy meal, and resort to that route instead of folding on your routine? Let's look at the outcomes of both situations. You can either eat the junk food, you can break your routine, you can fall back into a habit that you said you don't want to practice anymore, and now you have conditioned and trained your mind to resort to junk food anytime that healthy food isn't available. Or you can put your foot down, you can say, I've given myself my word, and my word matters to me, and you stay consistent with the promise that you've made yourself despite the difficulty that comes up. So that means you go to the supermarket, you spend the time, you get the meals, you cook the meal, and you still have the healthy meal. And now you've trained your brain to adapt to a difficult situation even when it comes up unexpectedly. That's really the difference between winners and success. That's different. Excuse me. That's really the difference between winners and losers if you think about it. Everybody experiences difficulty in their life, but I think the people that have accomplished the most and the people that have gotten the farthest are the ones that were able to, number one, discipline themselves in the moments when unexpected turns came up and adapt to the situation and come up with a solution that still keeps them on the path to get to where they want to get to. And then other people that make excuses and use it as a reason for them to pretty much go off path, make themselves lose, because really they're not going to be hurting anybody but themselves, and giving up. And so that's really what it's all about here. I think one of the greatest people that I like to resort to as an example for this is David Goggins. I love David Goggins' story. I've listened to every one of his podcasts. I've watched every one of them. And I feel like no matter how many times I listen to it, it's a story that you can't get over, because it's really the ultimate story of a hero that started from ground zero. I mean, a guy that had nothing, abused as a child, overweight, all the difficulties of, David Goggins' story, and then becoming who he is today, which in the media is referred to as the toughest man alive. It's, I think, in my opinion, the ultimate example of someone that, despite all the difficulty, they stayed consistent with a path and a routine and a way of life that has ultimately benefited them in the end, because he's the David Goggins that we know today. And so that's a great point of inspiration for me. But this topic in particular really resonated with me recently, because that's something that I feel like has, I believe I mentioned at the beginning of this video, been what made the greatest difference for me when it comes to accomplishing any bit of success that I have today. It is doing my best to stay consistent in my routine, things coming up that would usually make me want to give up or throw in the towel before, but telling myself this time, no, I really want to accomplish my goals. I really want to reach my final destination. And so despite how difficult anything might have been, you push through with it. And I think the best thing that came out of it for me, aside from allowing me to reach and accomplish my goals faster, was the conditioning that it has given my brain, in the sense that I now do it kind of automatically. I expect things that are difficulties to come up for me. And so I now, just as a automated response, look for ways to adapt and still continue with doing what I had planned for the day, for the week, for the month, for the routine, for, the following tasks or list of tasks that I had. And we're only going up from here, hopefully. So yeah, simple idea here. Stay consistent in the path of difficulty, especially when things get hard. This is when you have to push even harder, not only because it's going to keep you consistent and get you a better result when it comes to the amount of time that it takes to accomplishing success in what you want to do, but also because it will genuinely change you and make you a type of individual that adapts to difficult situations instead of giving up on them like most people do. See you in the next one.